what your community needs. I mean, like I've said a million one times, I'm not trying to avoid the question, but if why not just start off with something small? Whatever you think you need, see if you can get together with people and see if they can add that to your community. That's the thing. Whatever it could just be the fact of finding somebody to support, spreading the word of support. I'm quite sure that community activists on every corner these days. There's somebody who's caping for your community every time you turn around. What it is, Swan, in my opinion, again, this is pure opinion, but what I've noticed is a lot of people, they stand on the sideline and complain and say, this ain't happening, that ain't happening. And they don't have a game plan for this or that. So to answer your question directly, if you think you need lights, if you think you need lights in your community, more street lights, or your street lights always out, I'm quite sure find a person who's a community activist. More than likely, they are running for office as well, or have aspirations of running for office. And then what they'll do is you talk to them and make your presence felt, and you stay on top of it until you get the results that you request. That would be the best way I think you can handle it. Because when you see a problem and you find somebody who can help you with that problem, that's your leg of the race. That's your leg of the race. You know, you don't have to be out in front like Malcolm X pointing it out. You don't have to be on the street with guns like Huey Newton and the rest of the Black Panther Party. You don't have to be beating the drum of independence and unity and things of that nature. You could just be one of the people who hand the people who's doing that water. See, that's the thing. You could just support. You could do some research and support people who are down for the cause. Because anybody who's listening to me can attest to this. It ain't no more heartwarming words in the English language or any language than, man, thank you. I appreciate you. You say that to the right person at the right time, they could be like, that person who's a community activist could be on the edge of like, man, these people ain't never gonna do shit. I can go get me a job. And Black Swan walk up and say, you know what, Mr. or Mrs. Such and Such, I've been watching you for years do this. I really appreciate you. Is there anything I can do to help? And that may be the thing that takes them away from the ledge. And not that in itself may be your mission in regards to improving your community. So find the people who need the support, help them get the word out. When they running for office, help them hand out flyers, do voter registration, educate your family members and friends on what's going on. See, it's 1,000,001 ways you can improve your community, but it really has to be whatever it is in you to do it. That's what you should do. Don't overextend yourself, because if you overextend yourself and step out of character, guess what's going to happen? You're going to be like, man, screw this. I don't want to do this. My man DJ Knox said we have to plant a seed for our youth and charity and helping our community, put together lunch programs, etc. To reach, I had that growing up. That's why I do charity to this day. Exactly. Shout out to DJ Knox. Thank you, Black Swan, for both of y'all for adding to the show. Thank you, both of you guys, man. Thanks to both of you guys. Because think about it like this. When you're reaching out trying to help somebody, there is no wrong way to do it. There is no wrong way to help somebody. Shannon Sharp say this on one of my favorite shows every day. There's no wrong time to do the right thing. There is not a wrong time to do the right thing. My man D. Graders from South Central just said we need We need more, if any, mentor programs that support the parents. Exactly. That's the one good thing. Programs that are guiding our youth and teaching them about self, about community, about unity, about economics, about history, and support is backed with love. Thank you, the greatest. Much love to you, brother. Again, thank you for being a contributor to the show. And that's what we need to do, y'all, because when you do those kinds of things, brothers and sisters, this is what puts us and you in a situation so you won't have to stress. To go back to my sister Black Swan, why don't you introduce yourself to all your neighbors? That's just because, see, to create unity, you have to have familiarity. Ain't nobody trying to unify with strangers. Because at the end of the day, you don't know if the dude to the left of you or to the right of you when you walk out your doors, he axe murder. But if you introduce yourself and say, hey, I'm your neighbor. I know y'all heard me speak about it before. It's a guy who's on the TV show Chicago Fire. His name is Joe on the show. Joe Cruz on the show. And his name is Joe in real life. One day I was walking in the house with some groceries. He walked up to me and said, "What's up, man? How you doing?" I said, "Hey, how you doing?" It was like and then the stupid part is it was weird for me to just speak to him. I said, "Hey, man, anybody ever tell you look like that dude on Chicago Fire?" He said, "That is me." So yesterday I was walking in the house. And I said, "Hey, man, I'm Brian." He said, "I'm Joe." Didn't know his name was Joe. His name is Joe on the show. His name just happened to be Joe on in real life. But that's how you create unity. You know, once upon a time, we knew everybody on our block. Both sides of the street. Up and down the street, we knew some old nosy ass neighbor that was going to snitch on you if you was doing something you weren't supposed to be doing. We knew it was semi-creepy old man looking at the girls, but that's all he did was look. And he didn't cause any harm. Some of them did. We never spoke about it. And some of them didn't. And, you know, it was a community of different people. It was just a community of different people on in our community that comprised everybody who we lived around. And, you know, we've gotten away from that. We've let the world tell us that everybody in the world around us is weird and everybody around us is stupid or what have you, or, hey man, I don't want to talk to you because you don't do what I do. I'm a better person than you. Or you know what? You don't believe in the God that I believe in. Therefore, I can't talk to you, or any other made up nonsense that y'all let these people who control the country put you in a position to talk about. But at the end of the day, it's on you. See, we always point the finger when it's unnecessary. Now, one thing I'm going to do, speaking of pointing the finger, I'm about to point the finger, and I'm finna offend the hell out of a lot of people. But all I know is this. The bigots in the United States of America who are in power are the reason your neighborhood is fucked up. If your neighborhood is not the way you want it to be, it's because of the bigots who run this country called white folks. These white bigots who are in power, Mitch McConnell, Donald Trump, and the lackeys that are up under them, it's their fault. Because, as you just heard at the top of the show, there's been exploration throughout the world by people that look like me. You don't hear about wars because some brothers went to China and they kicked off a war. And brothers was there. If you look at some of their statues, Chinese people don't have big lips and curly hair. If you don't believe me, what I'll do later on in Build and Destroy, I'll post that. I'll post it and brothers are going to work it out. I'll post it throughout every piece of media I have. And you tell me are those people hair looking like that? What made them make a statue with kinky looking hair and big lips? When you look at in the 60s, well actually late 50s, 60s, and 70s, the Vietnam War. The Vietnamese had the wherewithal to say, black man, we ain't got no issue with you. Native Americans. You just heard the man say that what he has says we were here first. But the Mexican population, they have no problems with us. I mean, the Hawaiian people, the Polynesian people, nobody where you going, Asia, they ain't never had no issues with brothers. Even in the Mediterranean, Cleopatra and Mark Antony from the Greeks, the Italians, they ain't have no issues with us. But the people in Europe, sorry folks, the racist, bigoted people that came from Europe, they kicked it. They kicked it off, man. See, we want to talk about people in our family. Oh, well, my uncle, and this is a private conversation, I'm not going to tell you who I had it with. Well, my dad had racism. And, you know, he didn't like dark-skinned black people. But where did that come from? He ain't like light. Some people don't like light-skinned people. Where did that come from? It come from the bigots who control this country and throughout the world. Because, again, there's documented proof that you go down to Australia, the Aboriginals, they look like me. And it is documented proof that in the what did they call it? The British Empire had control of that continent, and then they tried to breed out the darkness of the Aboriginal. This is documented fact. So what we need to do is stop pointing out, my nose is running. I got a fever. I got a cough. No, you have a cold. It's time to disinfect it and disinfect your surrounding areas, and then you will slowly heal from the cold. And if you are a person judging people in accordance to what they look like, and because they are a heathen, all a heathen mean is different. Yeah, that little nugget right there. Heathen just means different. Does not mean bad. Just like sanctified just means separate. Separate yourself from the food. So sanctify yourself from the heathens. And you think, oh, it's just like the word ignorant. People think ignorant means stupid and dumb, and I hate you don't call me ignorant. Nah, ignorant just means don't know. Uninformed. But again, you know, I'm not gonna turn this into a hate the white man segment, because it ain't the hate the white man segment, it's the hate the wicked white folks of the world. Because guess what? All those colloquialisms that we use to insult people, we didn't create those. Somebody else did. This is a country that used to have signs: no Jews, no Italians, no niggas, no dogs. Listen to that. That's 100 years ago. That sign used to hang up in this country, throughout this country. You see what I'm saying? Who mistreated these people? The biggest of the world, who have no place to do. They have nothing to do, nothing to contribute. I'm just saying, man. When you got time to dissect people in regards to who they pray to, who they love, what they look like, you got too much fucking time in your hands. Because when you go through all these people who they discriminate against, look at what they contributed to the world, and look at what the biggest contributed to the world. That's all I'm saying. So instead of looking at your brother and sister and saying, brothers need to get their shit together, sisters need to straighten their shit out, why don't you go to the root cause of why you believe your brother and your sister is not acting the way you think they should act, or the way social standards have created for them to act? That's probably because I'm only focused on my community. Everybody else, you could just add in how you feel about your community. But I bet you, if you got a lot of crime in your area, The music and arts programs, ain't a whole lot of technology programs. There's not a lot of emotional support in the form of high school counselors or after school programs.